welcome to the Chronicles of Gia and Marcus. Today we just want to come to you and talk to you about friendships and about, the ups and downs of friendships and just what that term actually means nowadays, because so often we see, friendships that have had many years.
Yeah, so basically the whole thing is that years don't matter.
Yeah.
So you can be friends with someone for 10 years and the friendship could be 10 years of misery. It won't even last. Like, that might not be your best friend. Just because y'all been best friends for 10 years doesn't mean that... I don't even know.
It's like we're seeing that nowadays. It doesn't matter how long you've been friends with someone. Sometimes those years don't mean anything, and it may not necessarily be that they don't mean anything to you, but the other person, they just may not feel how you feel. Like, you may have completely different views of friendship. And today we just kind of want to talk about how to deal with that, because sometimes it can be hard if you've had a friend for 8+ years, but you see that things are kind of,
different,
and you don't know why. You feel like you've done nothing wrong on your end, and you feel that there's tension, but how do you address it? How do you move on from it? What's the next step in moving forward? Do you just continue the friendship, or do you decide that you want to walk away? What do you do?
Because you can't base your friendships based off of years, because years just don't matter. Like, for us, we've been friends for 3 years.
Going on
almost 3 years, and we're like close. We're really close. And so, like, we both had friends for 5+ years that we've been best friends with before we met, but like, we're really close. And like, just because I'm friends with someone else for 5 years doesn't mean she doesn't know me the same as someone else does, just because we've only been friends for 3 years, or almost 3 years.
And sometimes it also just depends on the kind of person that you are. Like, for me, I've had friends where, we may not always see things the same. We may have different interests, but it's like we've been friends because, we met when we were younger and that friendship was established, whether it was grade school or high school. But, as you get older, you start to realize that, that can kind of be awkward if you don't have the same interests as your so-called best friend. And so for us, when we met, I would say we kind of clicked right away, but it was one of those things that as we got to know each other as time went on, we really found out that we had a lot in common. We like the same things. We basically talk the same. Like, we do everything the same, and that's just how it is. And like he said, we haven't known each other for that long, but it's like we meshed instantly, and I feel like that's so important. And so, being in college and, being around people that, you thought were your friends, and, you thought that, nothing could come in between that friendship. Let me just say, I've never seen nothing like it. When I tell you I've seen so many people come and go, it's not even funny. But I wouldn't say that it's anything to be sad about. Like, of course, if you've had a friend and you guys have been friends for a long time and, suddenly things change, yeah, it can be devastating because, you were thinking, wow, that's my best friend. We've been through this together. We've been through that. Like, you just could think that nothing, would shake up that friendship, but things do happen. And sometimes it's important to realize that, not everyone in your life is meant to stay here forever. Not everyone is meant to go on with you, in your journey. Not everyone is meant to grow with you in your journey.
Yeah, sometimes you're just friends with people just like due to circumstances. Like she said, in like elementary school, middle school, and high school, like, you just have a small pool of people to choose from. And like, we be really young, so we still be trying to figure out who we are, what we going through, what we like, and what we dislike. And as you get older, you truly pick like your friends based off of interests, based off of similarities and stuff that y'all just like together. It's like, it's a genuine friendship. Like, damn near when you do have a friend that you're really close to for a short amount of time, like, that's just because like y'all really mesh well. Like, that's just like, I feel like that's a real true friendship, because it's like just based off of interest and what you really like, versus, oh yeah, I'm still friends with so and so because we've just been friends for 8 years, but it's not really a true friendship,
And sometimes it may get lonely because, like he said, as you do get older, you start to, pick out your own friendships, and, you'll come to realize that, not everyone thinks how you think. Not everyone views friendship the way that you view it. Not everyone, has your mindset. So it's like, well, who do I consider a friend? It's not that many people, like me. It's not that many people that just vibe well with me. So, what do you do? And you may, find out that, well, when you look at it, you ain't really got no friends. Like, and that's okay, because you're not meant to be close to everyone. That's just not what it is. And if that was the case, then
Everybody be friends with everybody.
everybody, yeah. And
I mean, as you get older, your circle just gets smaller.
And I think that that's best. It's okay to associate with a lot of people. It's okay to, randomly talk to people, but you do have to be careful about who you call a friend, because the same person that you calling a friend will be the same person that's telling your business to that person, that person, that person. And you just can't let everyone isn't worthy of your friendship. So Marcus, so how would you say, so like if a person has been friends with someone for, a long time, high school, grade school, whatever the case may be, and if, let's say that person hurts you, how do you address that situation going forward? Because, that's been your friend for, however long, like, is a conversation to the person, like, how do you go about that? Is it, some people may say, is it worth even, talking about it? Because for me, I'm the type of person, if I get hurt by someone, my first instinct is to just cut them off. Like, that's just how I feel. I'm done. You hurt me. It is what it is. Like, we ain't got to talk about nothing. There's nothing to talk about.
But like, if you like that though, you might lose out like on a good friendship though. Like, it's up to the person. If you really want the friendship to last, you feel like that's a good friend, and you want to fight for their friendship, all you can do is fight for it. If you fight and it don't work, then it just don't work. But you can only fight when the other person's willing to fight with you too. So if you guys both want the friendship, then it's gonna grow, it's gonna prosper. Y'all gonna get through the obstacle or whatever. But if one person isn't interested in trying to fix it, then I mean, it's kind of been decided for you. The friendship is just over. Like, years just really don't matter. Just because y'all been friends for forever doesn't mean that y'all both want to still be in the friendship. So, I mean, it's really just up to the people. Like, you really got to decide if this friendship is for you and if it's not. And sometimes people just outgrow people. Like, you just outgrow people. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how it is. Like, that's just a part of life. Especially when we all still growing up and stuff and figuring stuff out. You just really do outgrow people.
And I will say it is hard when, you feel like you've done everything right. That person may not feel that way, but if you feel in your heart that you really cared about this person, that you made an effort to resolve any issues, and that's all that you can do. And if the person doesn't feel the same way as you, if they feel that they don't care, they don't want to give it the energy, then it's okay to move away from that friendship. That doesn't mean that you wish that person any harm. That doesn't mean that it just means you just outgrow each other, and that's
Literally.
okay. And you could go your way, that person can go that way, and that just be it.
And it always sucks when friendships end though. Cause like, I'm the kind of friend, like, if our friendship ends, middle of the night, you gotta call somebody, you crying, I'm gonna pick up the phone regardless. So it doesn't matter. So I'm that kind of friend. Like, I'm always be there regardless. We ain't gotta talk every day. We may not even be friends no more, but if you ever really needed me, I'd be there. And part of the problem with friendships is people feel like we don't talk about stuff. Like, if we have an issue or something, we don't really talk about it to our friend. We go to our other friends and say, well, yeah, they did this, they did that. We don't talk about it with who we have the issue with. So it's like, if you don't tell your friend, especially supposed to be your best friend, and they don't know you got an issue with something, then y'all can't ever resolve nothing. Because I mean, I feel like with us, if we really got into, we don't fight, like, we haven't fought at all. But if we ever had a disagreement or something like wasn't right, I don't see why we couldn't just bring it up. Especially, we think similar, so like, if I hurt her feelings or something like that and I didn't know it, just tell me you hurt my feelings or whatever. They pissed me off. I'm mad right now. Whatever. Cool. We gonna fix it, and then we'll take our 5 minutes, and then we back together and we good. And I feel like that's just how true friendship should be. Like, if I can't tell you I'm mad at you, then we can't be friends, because bitch, sometimes we get mad.
And sometimes we also may be scared about, the outcome if we do come to that person with, well, I feel this way. I feel that you hurt me because you did this, you did that. You may not want to hear what the other person has to say. Like, you may not want to you know, you just may not be ready for that, because they may come to you with, you know, something that you didn't even know that you had even done.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like, sometimes, you know, we can be afraid of the truth, and it's easier to vent to others, because it's like, you know, you can say, well, she did this, she did that, but
You don't hear the other side.
you don't
so
hear the
they
other
don't
side,
know.
and we automatically kind of shut down with that person. Like, you may think that, you know,
You get defensive.
you may not even think that they'll even understand, but, you know, they could. You don't know unless you talk to them. But, you know, I know myself, you know, done that. I'll talk to other people before I talk to the person. And yeah, I feel like that is something that, you know,
I feel like everybody has to work because it's hard to do. It's hard to bring up issues because, I mean, you just don't.
it's awkward.
It's tension, and then it's like, okay, is our friendship still gonna be the same after we have this little argument or this little sit down talk? Like, it's awkward. It's like you walking on eggshells, but it's like, I just feel like if that's your best friend, especially if you consider them family too, you just gotta talk about it. Just get it over with, because it's more awkward just to walk around on eggshells and be tense and just holding stuff in when you can just be like, listen, this is how I'm feeling. You may not done it on purpose, you may not know, but this is what it is. And then, I mean, like, you know, and then going forward, they'll know not to do it again. And if they start doing it again, then, I mean, that ain't really your friend. So, I mean.
And I mean, it can be hard when you feel like you're in a situation where it's like you're constantly, you know, losing people in your life. And it's like, well, dang, like, is it me? Like, am I the problem? Like, all these people, you know, who I thought were, you know, down for me. I thought, you know, they were my friends. And I look up and it's like, well, what happened? Especially if, you know, you thought that, you know, y'all had talked out y'all problems and you thought that you came to a, you know, a common understanding and that things were fine. And then all of a sudden you see the person and
They're, like, out of your life.
they don't say nothing. You, like, it can be hard. So I definitely do think that it's important to kind of, you know, evaluate yourself, you know, think of, you know, what maybe you could do differently. And, you know, that's my biggest problem. I can be stubborn, but, you know, give me time and I'll admit to it. I'll get to it. I'll handle it. But yeah, a lot of the times we don't like to see, you know, what we're doing wrong. And, you know, if we can do that, then, you know, maybe that's the change that we do need to see is, you know, just changing ourselves first. And maybe, you know, if we change, then we'll see the results that we're hoping to see.
I mean, yeah, it's true. And sometimes people aren't really necessarily a bad friend towards you.
Sometimes they don't know how to be a
Yeah, they're not
friend.
the friend that you just need them to be for you. And, like, all your friends are different, so you gotta just tend to your friends' needs in different ways, you know? So, like, I can't treat her the same way I treat another friend, because sometimes, you know, things are just different, you know? Our humor may be different than me and another friend's humor. So it's like, you just gotta know your friends. That's really what it comes down to. So, like, if you know your friends, you know what they don't like, you know what they do like. And then if you find out something that they don't like and that you've done to them, you just gotta move past it and work through it and fix it.
But also that becomes hard though when you feel like there are just certain things that a friend should automatically have.
Yeah, there are some automatic basics. What are some automatic basics that friends should just know? Like, what? Like, there's automatic stuff that, like, friends should just know. Like, obviously you don't ever go to, you know, your friends, any exes, anybody they've talked to, you don't mess with. Like, you just don't do it.
And
Like,
I'll say, you know, sometimes we may get into arguments with people, and after that's happened, you know, we'll automatically feel like we don't want, you know, well, you hurt me, so I hope that my friend doesn't, you know, start talking to you, because you know, like, they hurt you. So
Right.
It's like you don't want your friend associating with that person. So it's like if you see, you know, all of a sudden your friend is, you know, hanging out with them and just giddy, you know, laughing, I'm looking like,
I mean, it's kind of a rule. So, like, let's say we friends. Okay, we have another friend that we, you know, we both talk to or whatever. Like, I introduced her to a friend of mine. You know, so now we all friends, okay? We all friends. But now me and this person ain't friends no more. We don't talk, we don't hang out, we don't text, we don't do nothing. And since I introduced her and the other person, she damn near can't talk to them no more either, because it's a conflict of interest.
like,
Especially if y'all wasn't like, okay, like 5 years. Okay, all three of us are friends for 5 years. So they've developed their own little friendship now. It's been some years. So, you know, I guess in that case, years kind of matter.
But if you don't talk to that person, like if the person that you introduced to, you know, your friend,
Yeah.
and you don't talk to that friend no more, and if they never talked like that,
Yeah, if they're like an associate in your life and the person that introduced you to them stop being friends with them, you just gotta stop being friends with them.
and by associate we mean like if you only talk to that person once a year,
Yeah, like if you're
and
not hanging out, then it
they
don't
invite
count.
you somewhere and that person decides to go.
Like, you can't, you, like, why are
Like,
you
that's
going?
weird. And like I said, maybe, you know, we may be thinking about things wrong, but that just kind of makes sense. Like, if I introduced you to this person and I don't mess with that person, and if you know that my reasons are valid, if you know why I'm saying I'm hurt, then you should just understand, and that should be that. Now, I do get that in certain circumstances, you don't want to base your decisions off of another person. I completely understand that. You know, every person has the right to get to know somebody because you know that you just want to give them a chance. But, you know, when the history becomes a little tainted and, you know, certain lines have been crossed, then that's when, you know, you just have to decide who's really important to you in your life, you know, who's been there for you. Who would you rather have in your corner, basically? That's what it boils down to.
True.
You know, it's all about, you know, loyalty. If you've known this person for about 5 minutes, you think that, you know, you can count on them. They're going to be here for you during, you know, whatever crisis you may find yourself in. And then you have another person that you've known for however long, you know, a long time. And you know what that person can bring to the table. You know what you've gone through with that friend. But, you know, you choose to go with that other person, then you know that's that, and you know that's life. And yeah, that may hurt someone, but you know, as we are learning, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Everybody is human, everybody makes mistakes, but it's really all up to the person and how much they can handle. Like, if you feel like, you know, you don't want to be associated with anyone for, you know, a certain reason, then that's your prerogative. Like, you have every right to feel that way, and don't let anyone make you feel differently. Only you know how you feel on the inside. So,
I mean, yeah, but it is kind of hard though, like basing your friendships off of other people, because if everybody didn't like somebody because their friend didn't like them,
it would be a lot of
people mad at everybody for no reason. Like,
it'd be a lot.
So I mean, you just got to
And I mean, it is sometimes easier. Like, you know, if you're mad at somebody, to tell your friend, no, you ain't out. No, we don't mess with her. But then it's like, okay,
It's like, they didn't do anything to me, so I can't be mad. But you don't have to go out of your way to, like,
yeah, it's
extra
different.
friendly.
It's different if you're going out of your way.
Like, you don't have to go out of your way. Like, if
you
they
see
say
them
hi,
in passing,
yeah,
you know, hey girl, how are you? But I'm not about to
invite you to my
drive
birthday
to
dinner.
your house.
Like,
No, we're not about to go, you know, get some wings. No, like, that's just not what it's about to be.
No, but it's like, I mean, that's damn, like, if that's your best friend and somebody did your best friend wrong, like, then they damn near did you wrong. So
yeah, that's how I feel.
It really just depends on the person. And it's like, you just got to have good judgment, honestly. Because, I mean, if you got bad judgment, then you might lose your really good friend because you're hanging out with an enemy and you really, you know.
And if a person, I personally believe, if a person shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I know it's so easy for us to, you know, think, you know, that's my friend, you know, they wouldn't do that to me, but no, these signs aren't here for nothing. So really take note of it and just be confident in who you are as a person. And as long as your heart is pure in everything that you do, and you know that, you know, you just know that that's just not a person that's meant to be in your life, then
yes,
that's it.
Believe him the first. Who said that? Maya Angelou?
Believe them the first time. I don't know. Well, don't quote us on that.
I think that's Maya Angelou. Okay, Maya. Okay.
So yeah, that's basically what we wanted to talk to you guys about today. And you know,
yeah, just be a real friend. Don't be a fake friend.
Be a
I've
real
been there so
person.
long.
Be a real person, because that is going to take you very far in life. And you know, people will start to see that, you know, that'll exude on the outside. So just stay true to who you are. You know, if you know something's not right, speak up on it. If you feel like, you know, your friend's not doing something right, you know, let them know. You know, don't go to other people, let them know. And
I mean, and sometimes friends just fight. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah, that's normal.
So you got to be careful. Like, if you and your friend get into a fight, and if you go run off and tell somebody, you got to be careful who you tell, because
then they gonna be mad.
They gonna be confused as to what. Oh, you fake. You just told me you didn't like her, but y'all best friends. So you got to be careful who you talk to.
And that was all in the moment. So yeah, be careful. You can't tell everybody everything, because sometimes that's all people want is for you to just tell them all of your business. But be careful. Just meditate with yourself. Just think about it. Hold on to it. It's so quick. Girl, she did this, she did that. But no, just, you know, you may have that one person, like, I'll pretty much tell him anything, but you know, that's just how it is. But just know that that information is not meant for everybody, because everybody doesn't mean you well. So
exactly.
But yeah, so I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah, all right, thanks for tuning into our channel. Please subscribe and like the video. And yeah.
Bye, guys.